Welcome to Backstage Pass with David Nash, where the curtain lifts on the real entertainment industry. From the studio to the stage, we sit down with world-class producers, artists, engineers, and music business professionals shaping the sound and strategy of today. This is an insider's look at how careers are built, hits are made, and the industry really works. Let's go backstage. Now, here's Dave.
Hey guys, David Nash. This is the next edition of Backstage Pass with David Nash. We're talking today with Grammy-nominated multi-platinum producer Jake Austin. He's also known as Dave Savage in LA and the rest of the world. Welcome to the show, Jake.
Hey, man.
Or should I call you Dave?
Yeah, call me Jake.
Jake?
Yeah.
That's what I call him all the time, Jake. Jake and I are pretty good buddies. Man, so you've had some really great success in the industry. And we're going to talk today not only about, the things that you've done and just the bones of the business, so to speak. Give me a kind of a background about where you came from and how you made the hop from where you came from to LA and all that good stuff.
Totally. So my background essentially is, I was raised in Tennessee, in a small town, Savannah, Tennessee.
Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out Savannah, Tennessee. Population is like 10,000 people, when I'm growing up. There wasn't a lot of people where I'm from who had the aspirations that I sort of came to have.
Right.
And, my whole thing was, ever since I was young, I've been into music. Like, it was never a guessing game for me.
Did you start out like in school band and that whole thing? I know you were a drumline guy for a bit.
I actually started out playing piano when I was like 3 years old.
Piano players are amazing.
So my dad...
3 years old?
Yeah, 3.
Cool.
So my dad played piano and saxophone, and my family was extremely just musical, and I also grew up in a preacher's home environment, so I was just naturally always around music, and that sort of just took over. And as I got older, it started to reveal itself to me as this might be something I want.
This is what I need to be doing.
Yeah, totally.
So when it goes from that little kid, 3 years old, playing, then going into like elementary school and high school, was there a moment, so to speak, where you're like, man, I just got to take this shot. This is what I want to do, and I got to get out of Tennessee or whatever, or stay in Tennessee? How'd that work out?
Yeah, I think the moment happened when I was 13 years old, which is kind of right on par with the typical like rock star story, like
I started, got my first guitar at 13.
Yeah. I mean, I got my first real guitar at 13. And that sort of transpired into this whole thing. Like, then I discovered the John Mayer Trio, and that was it for me. I mean, I remember hearing that record, and I just knew like I had to follow that.
Was there a moment when you said, okay, Mom and Dad, I'm out, I'm going to wherever you may have gone to pursue this as my career, or how'd that work?
Yeah.
Like, did you make a move to it like Atlanta, or what was it?
Yeah. So after I graduated high school, and before I graduated high school, I should state that I'd been networking on Twitter, which when I was a senior in high school, Twitter was practically still a new thing. So like, I would listen to my favorite records. And at the time I was really getting into hip hop, soul type stuff. And I would listen to these records and hear this amazing production, and my ear is always just listening for that. And I would go read the credits off of whatever record it was and find the producer, and then hit up the producer and go, "Hey, listen, I love your material, I love your production. If there's ever anything you want guitar on or just whatever, let me know. Send it to me. I'll play on it." Yeah, I'll play on it. That actually ended up just my pre-networking, pre-graduation. Ended up turning into like post-graduation opportunities.
Right.
So I was doing networking, but I was networking before I even knew that I was networking, essentially.
Yeah.
What is networking? Yeah, which was the catalyst into me being able to have somewhere to go after I graduated high school. My parents were not a fan of that. Like, I remember my dad and I having a serious conversation one day.
About getting a job?
Yeah, he was like, "You're either going to get a job or you're going to go to college, and I'm not messing around here." And I told him like, "Hey, like, you don't understand. Like, I'm really passionate about music, and this is something I really want to do. So if that's what you want me to do, I will move out and I will figure this out." So I moved to Atlanta.
Really? When you got to Atlanta at a young age, how old were you? Like 18?
I was
18, 19?
I was 19.
Right. So what happened in Atlanta? Because I know you made that switch from Atlanta all the way out to the Sunshine State, not Florida, but California.
Yeah.
What happened in Atlanta to move your career in the direction that it ultimately ended up in?
So ultimately, I had an opportunity that presented itself, and I had met a friend. I'll just say a friend.
Networking.
Yeah, networking. And he said, "Hey, man, my employers, which I didn't know who they were at the time, but it happened to be Don Cannon and DJ Drama, which are two huge names in the hip hop industry. Like if you know hip hop and you know Atlanta culture, you know DJ Drama and Don Cannon. Like they're massive. Still have major success to this day. They invited me in as a guitar player, and they wanted to hear what I did. And I remember the first night I played guitar for those guys, and they were just freaked out. They were like, dude, we got to sign you.
Where'd this kid come from?
Yeah, they're like, we got to sign you as a producer. So they signed me as an exclusive producer for 2 years under under Don Cannon's label, which essentially turned into Atlantic Records. But yeah, I had all this experience of being in a major studio, from the time I graduated high school, which really acclimated me to that type of environment and made me comfortable being in those scenarios with people that were celebrities.
When did the jump come from Atlanta to LA?
So what essentially transpired?
How'd that happen? How the hell did that happen?
So what happened is the situation I was in, the living situation I was in Atlanta, it kind of turned into problematic situation. Like,
it is Atlanta.
Well,
it is the hip hop industry.
It was just there was some like negative rubbing
right
between me and the person that I ended up moving in with when I moved down there.
Right.
And I just realized that
this just isn't a good fit.
I have to figure something else out because this isn't going to work for much longer.
Right. So you just took a leap of faith.
Well, I essentially moved back home with my parents for
I'm back, Dad.
Yeah, 8 months, which was the whole epitome of the situation where parents are like, "See, I told you so."
Oh God,
I told you so, and I'm like, "Nah, you guys don't understand. I know what I've got, and to have the recognition that I have just from these guys, and again being around so many well-known people, and it just sort of." It put a belief in me that I knew that no one can stop me.
Right.
So I woke up one morning, and this is the honest to God truth. I woke up one morning when I was at my parents' house, and I had a feeling in my gut that was telling me to move to Los Angeles.
Right.
And so
start selling things at that point in time.
Well, I had a conversation with my dad, and I said, "Dad, I think I need to move to LA. I really feel like that's where I'm supposed to be."
Right.
And he said, think about it for a few days before you make that choice.
Did you think a few days, or was it like?
Oh yeah, no.
Well,
I took his advice.
Yeah, good.
But that you have to. I always tell people this: you have to go off your gut. You can't.
Absolutely.
Sometimes things are so deeply rooted that you just have to follow that instinct, and that's all I've ever done. After I graduated, that's the only thing I could do is follow my instincts.
Well, let's jump to LA. Jake's made the move. He's trusted that gut, which I always suggest. If it feels right, it's probably right. If it doesn't, it's probably not. You get to LA. There you are. You've got some contacts, obviously, from the hip hop industry in Atlanta and the whole. What happens in LA? I know. Was there a specific session or a call that said, "Hey, Jake, let's do some work, man. What do you got?"
Yeah, there was, but it wasn't until 2.5 years of living out there.
Grinding.
Basically being homeless.
Yeah, painting, whatever you're doing.
Working regular jobs, post-construction, whatever. I was working at a car dealership.
Of all places.
In Glendale, California. Nissan dealership, actually.
Plug.
And I had been there for 9 months. And I remember there was one day where I just couldn't take it anymore. I was standing on the car lot and I was going, man, I just want to make music. That's all I want to do. I keep standing out here and thinking about musical ideas, and it's all I can think about. It's consuming me. So I called an Uber at work in the middle of my shift and got in that car and left and said, I'm never coming back.
That's it. I'm done.
The same week that I did that, one of my good friends who of Sixth Sense, he called me, or I think he actually texted me and said, "Hey, are you still in LA?" And I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" He said, We just signed this kid, Khalid, to RCA.
We've heard of him, right?
Yeah.
Khalid?
Yeah, and I mean, and he's like, we're gonna produce an album for him. They booked a studio house in Hollywood. Like, we got it. Just, I want you to come be a part of it.
I want to talk about this studio house because I've heard this story. So when he's talking about a studio house, it's a studio house. It's a house and a studio like thousands, if not millions of people are doing in today's world in the music industry. But it's literally a house that they converted into a studio, or we're living in.
It's literally across the street from Paramount Studios.
That's a good spot.
So it's just like, it's a part of that district. And if you drove by it, you would never know, because number one, it's fenced in and there's like, shrubs all around it. So you can't even see the house, but It's a literal house. It's like, there's a house, there's a back house. And that would become the hub for me to network with so many different producers and so many different people.
And this is Khalid's first record too.
This is Khalid's first record.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but so this is a young guy in LA who's chasing a dream like so many other people do in the industry. And he walks into this house studio first time. What do you think that was like for him? I don't want you to speak for Khalid, but I mean, just as a first time artist, you finally get to sit down with a producer who's really, a young producer. Nothing's happened yet in his career. The major happened. What was that? What do you think that was like for him as an artist to be in that environment?
You know what's so crazy is I think he was so cool with it all. Like, he didn't seem a bit concerned about any of that.
Right.
He was so, like, his energy the whole time, from the first day I met him to the last second of that situation, I just remember him being so collected as a person. And it was just like, all the stuff he did was effortless. Even the record him and I did together, it was just effortless,
Right. How did that first project for him turn out?
Oh, it was great. It was great. We had a Grammy drawn on a whiteboard, like an actual Grammy award.
Oh, I've seen that picture of that.
Yeah, we had it drawn on the whiteboard with all the songs, and we were hoping to win a Grammy with that album. I mean, that was our goal, but we got a nomination for it, and I mean, that's still great. That's something that I'm proud of to this day. But
listen, guys. So this is a young guy, Khalid, out in LA. First real session, Grammy nomination.
Yeah.
Right out of the box.
First album, Grammy nom.
How'd the album do as far as sales?
Oh, man, I think it went platinum within like 3 months of it being out. It was wild.
It's crazy.
It was wild.
It's crazy.
I remember, what I remember about it is that Elton John had heard the album.
Yeah, you told me.
And when I found out that Elton John heard that, which I'm a huge fan of Elton John, I was like, yo, I made it. like I was like, I made it. Like, Elton John has heard me play my guitar on an album.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Khalid's album.
He
heard me play. That is cool. You know what? I was looking at some videos the other day, and I think it was 21 Savage was at Lollapalooza.
Oh, yeah.
And another record that Jay produced was a track called Monster. And that was Grammy nominated, if I'm not mistaken, multi-platinum album. But he was playing it at Lollapalooza. So I'm like, man, if I was Jake, I'm a guitar player, producer guy, and I'm watching Lollapalooza and they're playing my song, I'd be like, holy shit. Yeah. That's cool, man.
It was epic.
That's epic.
When I saw that video, which, I mean, you produce records for people, you never expect anybody to perform them live in front of thousands. But then when you see a clip of that and you hear your guitar part or the production you've done on a record just cast out over all these thousands of people.
Yeah, or literally millions of people.
Yeah, you kind of go like, that is crazy.
That's crazy. Let's touch base, because I know we've talked about Khalid. Who are some of the other artists that you have produced in your storied career as a producer?
So I've worked with Chris Brown and Wiz Khalifa, Don Toliver, Tory Lanez. Obviously, Childish Gambino was part of that record, which that was like one of his last, records.
Childish
Gambino, yeah, that was one of his last records that he did. And then, like Post Malone, I've had records with. I've had the opportunity to work with so many different people, and I've worked with people that I'm not going to name, and have had records with them that didn't make album cuts.
I know one of them was a girl. Should I not say her name?
So I had a record with Beyonce.
I didn't say it.
I had a record with Beyonce. That was crazy. I remember getting the phone call about it, and the producer who I'd collabed with, he was like, dude, he was like, I don't want to freak you out, but Beyonce just cut over the record we did. And I was like, wait.
Well, you just freaked me out, man. I thought you said you didn't want to do that.
That was a crazy moment. But that record never surfaced, but still, like, just knowing that, I'm making stuff that, people I admire. And
one of the largest recording artists on the planet.
Yeah. Like just someone who a majority of people admire as an artist.
Right.
Like, approve something that I made.
Let me ask you this, man, because I know, so Jake and I are working together, a company called Lyrico Entertainment based out of Lexington, Kentucky. We kind of delve into a lot of artist development. What advice do you have? Well, real quick, what do you think about the studios at Lyrico Entertainment? I mean, you've been here, you've been in the studio, in the soundstage. What are your impressions of what we've got going on here in Lexington?
Yeah, I mean, I think the facility is great. I mean, for anyone who's just trying to, get their artistry in the right place and feel like they're actually in a proper environment to make that stuff happen, I think this is a great place, man. Like, especially for this area, like, you're not going to find nothing else like this around here.
And one of the cool things is if we do work with some emerging artists or artist development artists, Jake's probably going to be on board for producing some of that and guiding some of the talent that we've got here at Lyrico Entertainment.
Just call me the ears.
Call me the ears.
Just call me the ears.
Call me the ears. We actually just worked on a project the other night with a friend of mine. He was recording some tracks he's putting together for a record he's doing. And this guy had been working on a record since October on one specific track and called me up, says, I'm getting ready to, kill myself or whatever because I can't figure this track out. I brought Jake down, and within 2 hours, this guy had taken the noose off his neck, and Jake fixed it. And it was simply just BPM, wasn't it?
We just alleviated the issue completely. I mean, sometimes it can be something super simple that someone's overlooking and, not having the experience. A lot of times when this guy was admittedly saying, like, I just don't have the experience.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with this program.
I got all the tracks, but nothing lines up.
Yeah.
He was crazy.
So for me, it's just, I've used almost every single software program and been in so many weird situations with weird computers that don't really work. Listen, man, there's a will. If there is a will, there's a way.
There's a will. There's a way.
For me, anyway, I'll figure it out.
Well, let me ask you this. So what advice do you have for young artists, whether it's hip hop, whatever genre? Because to me, it's music is music is music. I grew up in the 60s. I'm a little bit older than Jake by decades. So me, music is music. I don't care if it's hip hop, funk, R&B, rock and roll, whatever. What advice do you have for young artists that are just starting out and they're trying to figure out, how do I gain some traction? What do I need to be doing every day? And that's tough because Jake himself is an independent artist, by the way. Jake Austin, you can find him on all streaming platforms across the country.
Yeah, my song Trust is out everywhere. If you want to check it out, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Tidal, Pandora, YouTube.
Is it on Tidal?
It's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. My advice to anyone who's trying to, pursue being an artist as full-time career, which is a daunting task in these days and times. Number one, prioritize your content. Like, whatever it is that you're doing, I everything I do, I want to do it at the highest level that I can possibly do it at. I don't want to cut corners. I don't want to take shortcuts. I want to make sure that whatever I'm making is comparable to my favorite music. I tell people this all the time and I mean it. I am more of a consumer than I am a producer.
Oh, yeah.
I consume so much great music, and that's what keeps me going. And it's the moments where I find inspiration in some of these records that I love that inspire me to go back and make music that I want to represent me. So I always tell people, first things first, make sure you got something worth pushing. I mean, there are literally millions of people making music and releasing songs on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
You have to cut through that. And the only way you can do that is by, number one, being original. Originality still wins, guys. It's not a game. Like, it's not a game to be had, really. Like, there's a lot of people who go, oh, they look like they're having fun and that looks fun. I think I want to do that.
Yeah.
And they're not even supposed to be doing what they're doing. So make sure you're passionate. Make sure your content is viable. Make sure you're able to take what you're making and put it up against your favorite music and see if it, if it actually correlates, like in a sonic way. if you can do that and you can put your song that you're working on in a mix and play a bunch of records and then your song hits and you kind of forget that it's in there.
Oh, that was mine.
It
was in the playlist.
You are 5 steps away from being a success. I mean, the rest of that is like, facilitating the team, which is, you can't do this alone. Like you really can't.
And one of the things we talk about is it's called show business, and you'll hear us say this a lot. But it is business, and show is this part and business is this part. That team is paramount. I mean, one of the things, we talk about even with Jake's solo career and artists that I work with all the time is creating that content daily, as far as social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, always hitting. But in addition to that, when you get to the point that, man, now I've got to figure out how to get this, released and what do we do to promote on a big scale, not just nationally, but internationally. So a lot of times that's taking a promotional team that can do things like placements and things like that. But it really does take a team because so much of it is the business side. And for an artist really can't be consumed with the business part of it. Because if you are, then I think you start losing a little, and we've talked about this, you start losing some of the artistry.
You sacrifice a lot of your creativity and focus to dive into this whole other world that most people who are creatives they don't know about it. They don't know about it and they don't care about it. Like it's not that it's personally, this is my take on it. Personally, I understand the business side. I get it because I've been a producer in the music industry for 12 years. Okay. I understand it like perfectly. I just don't want to take it on. It's like number one, as an artist in this day and age, you have so much of responsibility already on your hands to take care of what you need to take care of when it comes to what he was just saying, social media. Yeah. Staying relevant, making sure that people see you, making sure people hear what your music is. You have so much of responsibility, and then on top of that, most of us are recording ourselves at home, mixing our record, before we send it off to get mastered. We're cutting all the demo parts of the track. There's so many elements to it. The business side you sort of just go like, oh man, this is too much, and it is. That's why every successful artist that you see, they don't do this alone. There's no possible way they could. Right. You have to have a team, and that team, man, that is the most important part. I'm going to tell you, having the right people around you to help facilitate your dreams and push you to where you want to go, man.
It's funny. Yesterday, I couldn't get a hold of Jake on the phone, and I'm like, come on, Jake. What are you doing, man? Why? He had his headphones on. He was recording all day. I'm getting pissed off because Jake won't answer his phone. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? Are you all right? Yeah. Had my headphones on, man. I was recording. I was working on a project. I got a new single I'm working on, and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, that's the perfect excuse for an artist. All right. And all I wanted to talk about was Jake and Dave stuff or business, and business can wait. If he's creating, let him create, man. And we'll work on the business when he's done, and we'll work on the business behind the scene. And that's exactly what we do. It's been really cool. Jake and I, we've got a really good relationship, and his story when we first met, I was like, this is great, man. I got something to work with. I've got something we can actually take what he's had in his past and what he's doing now on his solo career and really concentrate. Let him create. Let him do his thing. He has free access to our studios here in Lexington, Kentucky at Lurco Entertainment. He can do whatever he wants here. If he needs to get in there at 10 o'clock at night and record, man, you got it, brother. You know that. And we as a team are 100% behind everything that he's doing. It's a really cool relationship. So I think if you build those teams, hey, look, a team doesn't have to be, you have to go out and, spend thousands of dollars to get a manager, to get somebody to look at you, or to get a production, or not a production company, but promotional company staying behind. If you start doing a lot of that organically yourself, you're posting on TikTok, and every day, you're posting on Instagram every day. I don't care if you're walking your dog, you want to create that fan base. People want to see behind the artist. And Jake does a lot of that on like TikTok, but it'll be nothing to do with music, but they're getting to know Jake. Period. And the music is like, oh shit, Jake's a guitar player and a singer and a producer. I just thought he was a cool guy, but that's because he's interacting with that potential fan base, and fan base that's growing every day. So it's something you guys promote yourself. Don't wait for someone else to do it. As that grows, that's when you're going to be saying, okay, I need somebody to help me handle my social media and things like that. And a lot of that can be family, friends, whatever.
Yeah, and not to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
One thing I just want to say is one of my favorite artists says, being an artist is the only job where you can give it to yourself. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you to do it.
Yeah.
You just do it. And I mean, it really is rooted in discipline. I mean, it always comes back to discipline.
Yep.
If you're not self-disciplined, you're not going to be able to make many things work.
No.
So the time that I use to, record records and work on those records, the music that's about to come out from myself, I've been working on it for over a year, guys. It's been a process, and that's why, greatness, it does take time. It's not a cliche thing to say. Like, really, if you want to be great, man, you're going to invest some of your time into it. And but this stuff will last your lifetime.
Sure. It's not going anywhere. And I always say this: if you can wake up every day at some point in your life, and you can go to do what you do as an artist, and you get some monetary reward for that, it's called work. So that's your job. You really aren't working. You're getting up every day and you're doing something to be creative. And success isn't defined by being a millionaire or having a billion streams. Success is defined by, hey, can I make a living doing this? I don't have to live in a $10 million house in LA, but can I make a living, buy a house, with a mortgage and do that? And just playing music or creating music, you're not working. Your passion has become your financial reward.
Right. And although I will say this too, define your goals before you set out into this path. Define what you want. Be honest with yourself about what you want. If you want a $10 million house at the end of this road,
bust it.
Say, I want to live that lifestyle.
Sure.
Because a lot of people aren't very honest with themselves, and that right there will get in your way. It will. So define your goals, define your expectations before you even set out into this. Know what you want, know what you're going for.
Write it down on paper.
Write it down on paper.
You see it.
Physically, visualize what you want in your head, write it down, and then shoot for it, because you get one life, or maybe you get more lives, but this life that we have right now, this is one life.
Let's get it.
So let's just go.
Jake, we're going to wrap it up, man. It's been so cool spending this time with you. Like, we don't spend time with each other all the time.
Yes.
But just having the opportunity to get you in and sit on the podcast and talk about the industry and your journey through the industry has been really cool, man. And I hope you guys out there take away whatever you can take away from, but just remember that, this is a guy that started at a preacher's house down in Tennessee, made it to LA, and has platinum records, multi-nominations for Grammys, the whole 9 yards. So it is doable. It is doable.
It's doable.
All right. Thank you, guys. This has been Backstage Pass with Dave Nash. Check us out. We're going to be doing this every week, and more guests coming. It's going to be really cool. A lot of insider information about the industry as a whole. We'll see you next time on Backstage Pass with Dave Nash. Thanks so much. Peace out.
Peace out.